reflection, I would say we had a pretty smooth transition into having 1 to 2 babies, in the sense of the jealousy and the negative feelings towards the second baby. And I think we did a lot of work beforehand, from literally, I would say, the moment that we told our kid that we were having babies, to prepare her for having a sibling. So sharing all of these with you, hopefully they'll work, and hopefully you can take them on if you are preparing to have another child. Telling the baby in advance, telling the first child in advance, like everything in advance really helped out. She always knew, oh, baby is in mummy's tummy, the baby's coming. Building a relationship with her sibling before the siblings even were born was super important to us. So we would talk to the baby together. Everything was done in advance. The moment we found out we were having a baby and we were comfortable to tell her and she could understand, then again preparing for the birth in advance. So telling her in advance, you're going to be with the grandparents at this time. We actually ended up getting her a really nice book, which I'll probably share in another video, which really helped her transition and understand, okay, yeah, I have a sibling coming and this is what we're going to be doing. When mummy and daddy go off for the baby to be born, I'm going to be staying with dada and daddy, or nana and nanny, and that's the plan, and I'm going to be with them, and then when I come home there'll be a new baby. Constantly being one step ahead, telling the baby in advance, telling the child in advance all of the steps about the sibling coming. So the pregnancy part, mummy feeling sick, whenever we were going to appointments together, leaving her at home, like keeping her in the picture at all times as to what's going on, so she doesn't feel left out. She's in the conversation, she's in the conversation of the siblings, she's in the conversation of the birth. She knows it's coming, she knows that's happening. I have 3 years between both my kids, just under 3 years between both my kids, so I was in a lucky position to be able to explain a lot of this. I think, I don't know how people 2 under 2 do it, that's like a whole nother thing. I remember being my daughter being in that awkward position where she could understand what we were saying, but she wasn't always able to communicate how she was feeling. So we were kind of over communicating and overly showing affection. So every single step or milestone was told to her in advance and like communicated as much as possible. So the second thing we did is at the birth, and I've said that this works a treat, is we got a gift for my oldest from the new baby. Ended up getting like a balloon and a gift. I think my sister-in-law ended up buying it all for us, which was really kind, and we presented that to our oldest daughter and was like, this is from the baby, like she's really excited to be your sister, she's coming to the world and she's bought you a gift. And that really went down a treat, because my daughter loves a new toy or a new gift. What kid doesn't? And I think we went for a book, so it was again quite repetitive, so it was really nice to be like, oh, let's get the book that the baby has bought you. Every child, obviously, especially the first child, is the center of attention for the parents. For my child, first grandchild on both sides, very spoiled. The level of excitement that this baby is bringing something for her, bringing into her life, that was a great beginning in her accepting that, oh my god, this baby is here and it's here to stay, and it's coming with gifts and presents too. One thing that everybody tells me when we were asking advice on what is the best thing to do when it comes to like transitioning from 1 kid to 2 kids is get the first kid involved in everything kind of baby related. So we would get her involved in like helping change the nappy and breastfeeding at the beginning, but when the bottles came in, like helping do the feeding, there wasn't a friction between us giving the new baby attention. It was just like, okay, we're all gonna do it together as a family, and we're gonna do it in a positive way. And it gave my daughter a sense of authority, a sense of belonging, a sense of being that older sister, that okay, I'm the person who's going to be going and helping mummy change nappy, I'm going to go and get the wipes, I'm going to go and get the muslin, I'm going to rock her in the bouncer. So getting the older one involved in everything as much as you can, I don't think is a bad thing at all, because I think it starts off their parenting instincts, and it starts off their nurturing instincts, and just being good human beings and caring for one another. I think it begins from the care that you receive and give at home. This fourth thing that we did in mind of the fact that my first daughter is very attached to my husband, and worried that if my husband got too close to the baby, was holding the baby, how would our daughter react, because she's just through and through a daddy's girl. More so now she's changing as time going on, but she is at heart a daddy's girl. At that age, when you know your communication is limited, they are very much toddlers ruled by their emotions and the terrible twos going on. And one thing I feel like worked as a charm is asking permission. So we would ask permission, and that really worked well. with my husband and the baby and the daughter. So every time he wanted to pick her up or feed her, he would be like, oh, Savvy, is it okay? Is it okay if I go and feed Keish? And she would be like, yes, Daddy, it's okay. And it gave her that sense of, okay, I'm the older one. Things aren't changing in my world too much. I can process this. My dad still loves me. My parents still love me. They're still there for me. And they really care for my opinion. So that asking permission, asking your toddler, your first child permission. Oh, can I pick her up? Can I give her a cuddle? Oh, she's crying a lot. That gave my toddler a lot of love towards her new baby sister, because she was just like all over helping her. She's like, yes, please, like, let's go and help her. And the negativity has been to a very, very limited amount, and that negative feeling towards her sibling has been very, very small, just because we have gone out of our way to really nurture her and make her feel like she is still very, very much important and a priority in our lives. Fifth thing, which I think worked a treat, would always refer to the baby as her baby. Would be like, oh, that's Savvy's baby. Oh, it's Savvy's baby sister. And we'll be like, no, but it's your baby. You should take responsibility as well. And I think she felt like Keish was her baby from the beginning. Like, even my husband would say, I would say, it would be like, oh, it's your baby, don't worry. And it was game changing. She had this sense of authority of the baby. She felt a sense of responsibility about the baby. And we always made sure the grandparents also were prioritizing her, and her life wasn't changing in that way either. I think the transition went really well because she felt like it was her baby first and foremost. And now it's 16 months gone by, and she knows that that's her siblings never going away, and she has to now learn to share her parents and her grandparents and her village with her sibling. She's able to communicate more effectively to us and say, like, okay, I need a little bit more attention, I need this and I need that, and this is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling that sense of jealousy, so we can step in and do something about it pretty much straight away. But I would say those 5 things were my key things. That the transition between 1 to 2 was smooth, limited jealousy, limited aggression, because I've heard absolute horror stories, and luckily we didn't have very many at all. And this is not in any way to show off at all. Like, if you've been through that experience and it was horrible, I'm like obviously very sorry for that. You would never wish your kids to be fighting and aggressive towards each other from a young age, ever. However, if I can help another parent and give 1 or 2 tips that helps them have a better transition from 1 to 2, or adding siblings on, that's the goal here. So I'm keen to know your thoughts. Is there anything that you guys did to make sure the transition from 1 to 2 was easier, or adding siblings on? How did you do it? How did you do it if you had 2 under 2? I'd be so keen to know. And yeah, let's talk in the comments below.